Good morning, everybody. Today, instead of showing you a new trail, I am going to give you 20 pieces of advice for walking long distances. I think the longest I've walked is 33 miles, and I guess I didn't just wake up one day and decide, let's go walk 33 miles. So you have to work up to it, and I do have some good tips for walking really long distances or for many hours at a time. Wear wool socks. Even in the summer, on a 97-degree day, wear wool socks. They will keep your feet dry and blister-free, because honestly, if your feet aren't in the best condition or in good condition, you are not going to be able to walk, regardless of any of these other rules. Okay, so today is going to be 97 degrees with a heat index of 107. So, and right now it's at like 7 in the morning, it's already 81 degrees. So another tip I have, I think I've talked about this in other videos, but I freeze all my drinks. So this is Powerade mixed with water. And if I freeze them, they thaw in about the first hour, and then they're warm by the end of the second hour, but at least it's better than nothing. So, okay, another tip is if you want to walk long distances, you have to get as many miles done as quickly as possible. And the way to do that is to have really short strides and have your arms at a 45-degree angle pumping at your sides. The longer your arm swings and the longer your strides, the more fatigued it's going to take you, and you won't walk as fast. So if you want to walk really fast, get your arms at a 45-degree angle, get those legs pumping in really short strides. And it's just like running. If you want your legs to move faster, pump your arms faster. Okay, another tip is that you should eat healthy. If you eat inflammatory foods, which are different for everybody, so sometimes, grains inflame people, or dairy, or sugar, or in my case, protein lately inflames my joints. If you eat those foods, you're not going to have a very good walk. It's really windy, so I hope my mic works. But one great thing, too, about walking versus running is that you can wear a backpack. And I have lots of things in my backpack. Today, since it's warm, I have 3 bottles of like electrolyte drinks, and I have a chafing stick. I've got a little tube of sunscreen. If there was a chance of rain, I would bring my mini umbrella. I have a pocket knife, and pepper spray, and a whistle. And so anyway, bring a backpack. And then, okay. So if you want to walk long distances, you have to add miles gradually. But one thing that you should do is, if you really want to push yourself, not, beyond a reasonable amount, but I suggest doing an out and back walk. So if you want to do, let's say you can walk 5 miles. If you can walk 5, you can walk 10. Okay, so just trust me on that. And so walk 5 miles away from your vehicle. And then the only choice you have is to walk back that 5 miles. And then there you got your 10 miles. And it may be a struggle, but that's okay. Okay, it is so hot out here. It's really insane. But another tip is you have to have electrolytes if you're sweating. If you don't sweat, you really don't need electrolytes. And by electrolytes, I don't mean the electrolytes that are in like a Gatorade or Powerade. You need more than that. And I should say, I need more than that. So when I'm sweating, Gatorade or Powerade is not enough. I love Cliff Shot Blocks. I get the ones without caffeine because I'm sensitive to caffeine. But if you're not, they have some with caffeine that you might like. So, and I also use the Honey Stinger chews, but I don't think they're as effective for me. When I'm feeling really low, I can drink as much Gatorade as I want. It doesn't make any difference. But when I have 2 shot blocks, I feel back to my usual self again. Another tip is to, that people tell you actually to do, is to stay ahead of your nutrition. And I semi agree with that. I do think you should stay ahead of hydration and make sure you're always hydrated. But I don't believe that with food or like whole calories, because if you're feeling good, why risk an upset stomach? So I think consume liquid calories as often as you want and stay ahead of that. But as far as like protein bars or whatever you want to eat on your walk, I think you should just wait until you need it. Okay, another tip is that I suggest you don't listen to any music or podcasts or audiobooks at all if you don't have to. If you don't think that you can walk without listening to something, then at least try to challenge yourself to not listen to anything until you're on your way back. So if you are walking 10 miles, don't listen to anything the first 5 miles, and then reward yourself with it on the 5 miles back to your vehicle or home. So that's just another tip. I think walking is a time where you're like one with nature and with your thoughts, and a time to like neurotically overthink things. So you don't want anything to get in the way of that. Also, not on days like this, but I have an extremely lightweight jacket. It's my purple jacket. I got it at REI for hiking. It's really lightweight, but even a couple of weeks ago, it was low 60s, but it started to rain and I got chilled, and I didn't have that little jacket with me, even though it weighed nothing, but I had such a heavy pack on the day before. So I recommend wearing a lightweight jacket, or at least bringing it in your backpack. If you're having a hard time like motivating yourself to walk many miles, or you're like, why would I walk that many miles? Sign up for a race. You could sign up for a half marathon or a walkable marathon and walk it. And I mean, I did that. I walked the Des Moines Marathon last October, and it was really fun, and I didn't feel stupid for walking it. And I beat a lot of people who had started the race running, but then they were so tired by the end, I was passing them. So sign up for a race, just like runners do. That's why runners train, and you can even follow a marathon training plan if you want, but just walk those miles instead of run them, and don't worry about the pace. I don't do it often enough, but I would be a better walker if I did yoga 2 times a week. Sometimes I feel like I need a massage or a chiropractic adjustment, and then I do yoga and I feel perfect. So try to incorporate yoga at least once a week, but preferably twice, into your, fitness routine. The more you walk, the faster you'll get without even trying. So you don't really have to worry about that. But if you're just starting out, don't worry about how many miles you're getting done in a certain amount of time. Just worry about how much time is spent on your feet. So just count hours. If you haven't ever walked it 1 hour, then start with walking 1 full hour, and then make it 2, and then get up to 3, and then get up to 4, and so on and so forth. Okay, boy, it is so hot out. It's almost 10 or something like that. I've walked about 12 miles. It's 86 degrees, so it's pretty warm. But another tip is just wear comfortable clothes. I do not spend a lot of money on clothes. I literally get my shorts from Sam's Club, and I get my shirts and tank tops and sports bras from like TJ Maxx and Sierra. If you sweat in clothes, they get so gross anyway, and you wash them all the time, so they don't last forever. And I know that leggings are in and they're cute, but they're just too hot for me and I don't like them. So I just recommend cheap clothes, because no one cares what you look like. With that being said, about the clothes though, I do spend money on good shoes. As a runner, I wore Brooks Adrenaline, and I really like those shoes for running, but for walking, I needed more support. So I wear Brooks Ghosts, and I love them. So I do recommend new shoes every 6 months and buy quality shoes. Another tip I have is to be present in your walk. You know, look around, notice that you're in nature, try to spot, wildlife, and really enjoy your time outdoors. But if you're going to go for a 20-mile walk, to be present that entire time would seem really daunting and a very long day. So if you're going to walk those long miles, allow yourself to also be present, but then let yourself, withdraw into your mind to work out some problems you're having, or just to do some deep thinking. So don't get down on yourself if you've been lost in your own mind, for the last couple miles and you don't even remember doing them. It's helpful if you're going to walk 20 miles that you don't remember every single one of them. And I have to give a shout out to Kenton. He is a new friend I met on my walk. I noticed he had a backpack, and so I passed him, and then I turned around, and then I was walking behind him. So I asked him how far he was going, and his goal was 10 miles. And it was so fun to talk to him because I asked him how he got started with wanting to walk all these miles, and he said from watching the masochistic hiker who hikes the PCT, and he was watching videos like that, like I love, and that's what prompted him to start walking long distances as well. He quoted that, "Embrace the suck." So good job, Kenton, and his goal by the end of summer is to be up to 20 miles. I think another thing that I like to remember is that you need to start the day with you. If the only guaranteed time you have is to walk in first thing in the morning, then wake up and get your walk in. Start your day with you, because if you wait until after work or the end of the day, you may not ever get that time for yourself. There's always excuses and reasons to not do something at the end of the day, but it's really easy to wake up and just get that walk done and start the day with you. Okay, and I want you guys to understand that it's good to be uncomfortable. Walking really long distances is one of those practices that you can do quite easily to put yourself in a zone where you are uncomfortable, get you out of your comfort zone. And it's okay if you accidentally walked too far out and it's a struggle to get back to your vehicle. You'll make it. You're not going to die out there on the trail, if you don't have enough to drink. Again, that's uncomfortable, but most likely you'll make it back to your vehicle. So, plan appropriately, but embrace that discomfort, just like Kenton was talking about. Embrace the suck. It is good for you. It will help you put other pain and suffering in your life in perspective. So it's good to practice self-imposed suffering. It really is. And it helps you to be more disciplined and enjoy when life isn't uncomfortable. So finally, don't fear failure. Everything will be okay. I have failed so much, and I just consider it another opportunity to learn, exactly how to do these long miles with relative comfort. So hang in there. Just keep up the good work, and just keep pushing yourself a little bit further. And every time you feel like you failed, just tell yourself it was another opportunity to learn. So these are my 20 tips. I could probably come up with another 20. So maybe I'll do another video in the future. But sorry I didn't do a trail today, but hopefully you learned something. So thanks for watching, and thanks for walking with me. I'll see you next week.